Did a couple of videos already on blacklisting in comics. The reason I did those videos is if you've watched them, you'll have seen that I had some experience, not myself being blacklisted, but I had some experiences, gave me some insight into it, and very interesting. It's something I wanted to share. In this video, I want to not really talk about blacklisting in comics, but I want to look at this broader concept about, are conservatives blacklisted from entertainment? Because a lot of what people complain about when it comes to blacklisting in comics is they complain that if you're a Republican, if you're a Trump supporter, or somehow openly conservative, that they're going to shut you out. Now, when it comes to comic books, my experience and my research into the issue of blacklisting has shown not any hard evidence that conservatives are blacklisted from comics. What I have seen is that people who do get blacklisted usually are conservatives, but there's a difference between saying some conservatives are blacklisted and from saying all conservatives are blacklisted. So I've not found any hard evidence that all conservatives are blacklisted. But since most of the people I find that experience some sort of blacklisting pushback are conservative, and I off the top of my head can't really think of anyone who's very liberal who's had issue. I can actually take it back. I can think of one person. I only think of one really liberal creator who's ever had any kind of blacklisting pushback. Then the question becomes, is there a bias against conservative ideology in entertainment? Now, like I said, for this video, I want to focus outside of comics because I've actually been able to get enough information from reliable sources, which I cannot disclose, but definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, affirm yes. If you are conservative and you work in Hollywood, now I'm using Hollywood more as a figure of speech here. I'm not actually talking about specifically if you work with one of the studios that has an office in Hollywood. Using Hollywood to say more that big studio, movie studio, streaming studio, television studio, something like that, some sort of major entertainment studio, all of which has some connection to, of course, the Hollywood market. So again, what I have learned is not that there is a blacklist against conservatives. I want to be very clear on that. So I'm not, in fact, what I've learned would say the opposite, in the sense that there's not this open conspiracy to make sure no conservatives get into Hollywood. But what I have got evidence on is that if you're going to work in the Hollywood system, you cannot have an openly conservative viewpoint. And social media or anything that can be captured and redistributed, whether it's something like Facebook or Twitter, YouTube channels or whatever, if it can be recorded and put on the internet and it has you being conservative, you are considered problematic and a bad look for the industry. Now you might say, well, what about so-and-so? You might actually, thinking of someone who's fairly famous or successful in movies or TV or music who has some conservative viewpoint. The most famously, of course, we've seen that in recent years, Kanye West has come out and been very supporting of Donald Trump as president. In cases like that, you're dealing with someone who already has proven marketability, so it's a little different with him as far as how Hollywood's going to react. But I still have it on good authority. They're not going to react necessarily well, but at this point, their ability to, quote, shut you up is limited because you already have a huge fan base. But if you're someone who is an up-and-coming writer, creator, actor, maybe you want to be a director or producer, you're kind of small time and you're coming up in the industry, no, totally not allowed to get out there in social media and make any sort of conservative comment. Now, of course, you're not officially going to see this in any kind of contract or any kind of message board or any sort of official notice. It's all going to be handled very sort of under the table, a phone call, an email to a person saying, hey, we got to talk about this. So I have been able to qualify that it is a real thing. Now, I'm going to let you decide if that's a good thing or a bad thing. If you are a conservative person, obviously you probably will find this revelation to be upsetting on some level. If you're a liberal person, you might think, well, yeah, first of all, studios are just exercising their right of freedom of speech to decide what kind of speech that they want to be involved with. I'm not here to convince you of one way or the other. And that's not the point of this channel or this video, but I just want us to make aware of certain realities, that this is not paranoia on behalf of some conservative people, but this is actually a real thing that goes on. Wish I could talk about my sources. Really can't. Just take it from my word that they are rock solid. These are people in the industry who have been contacted and had people in the industry discuss these issues with them. Anyway, that's it for now. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.